So the decluttering continues. For those of you who don't know what a decluttering video is, well, meet me on the other side of this intro. I think it's best I explain it to you there. See you in just a second. What's going on, everybody? Allow me to reintroduce myself. It's your boy, Dre Sense. And what we have for you today is a decluttering video. What is a decluttering video? Well, it's basically where you go through your collection and look at some fragrances and say, hey, these have served their purpose. Not that they're bad fragrances, but it's just that I've reviewed these 1,000 times. Everybody knows about them. They know what they are, and it's time for them to find a new home. Now, before I get into this video, I need you to like, share, sub, and be active in the comment section. Got it? Get it? Good. Now, the first decluttering video I went through was the House of Nautica. Now, it's time to go through my CK. I did keep some CK fragrances like Flame, Eternity Aqua, Eternity Air, so forth and so on. Reveal, Euphoria. There's a few that I kept. This is basically thinning out my CK summer editions. Why? Because I just don't reach for them. I've had them, and I just don't reach for them. Let's get right to it. This one is not part of the CK summer series. It is a Ck1 fragrance, and I may end up keeping it as I put a fair dent in it. And it's one you don't see a whole lot, and it is Ck1 Redline. And this was a limited edition fragrances. Well, I guess all of the summers are, and I may regret selling these later, but I don't think so. Now this one, it's bright. It's a little bit citrusy. It's a little bit woody. Red is a good name for it. I like the fragrance. It's just that I haven't reached for it in so long. It's because you get used to a certain style of fragrance, and then you've worn it so many times, or you've worn fragrances like it so many times that you just want something different. And Ck1 Redline is a great fragrance. They make this for men and women. Nice, easy to wear. Hate to use the word dumb reach, but that's what it is. Just a nice, basic, easy to wear fragrance. Ck1 Redline is part of my declutter. I'll get the non-summer ones out of the way first. The next one, and this comes in a lifetime supply with this 62-gallon bottle, and it is Ck1B. As I find the atomizer, because for some reason they decided that black on black on black was good. Great atomizer. This is a very unique fragrance. It's a little bit fizzy, a little bit masculine. It's different. It's not your average run-of-the-mill CK fragrances in the sense of it's not really summery or bright and festive like most of the time, or most of the fragrances that come out of the Ck1 line. It is a little bit different. It does smell good. Again, it's almost like CK Shock without the tobacco, if that makes any sense. It's along those lines. And CK Shock is another one that I am going to hold on to. But CKB, and I maybe wore this fragrance one time, 2 times. Again, great scent, nice scent profile. I think part of the reason why I strayed away from the Ck1 or the CK Summers is the performance. They are great smelling fragrances. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. They just don't perform all that well. And where I live, the time of the year that I would wear these is in the heat, and they just don't stand up. Now, they would be great for out of the shower, gym scents, maybe even office scents, or just close encounter fragrances. But to put them to the test out in the Alabama heat and humidity, they just don't quite stand up. But nonetheless, they are decent fragrances. And last but not least is one that a lot of people, when I first started reviewing, loved this fragrance, and they talked about the hours and longevity and projection and everything that they got. Did not work as well for me. I will be keeping the OG to this one. This one is Dark Obsession. And it doesn't have much of the, I'm going to give myself a spray of this one, of the original Obsession DNA. It does smell good though. Again, some fizziness in here. I don't know what Calvin Klein was doing with the CKB or the Obsession Dark. A little bit fizzy, like it almost wants to go minty. Definitely different from the rest of the CK line. Well, this is not a CK. Well, it is a CK. From the Ck1. It's not like anything in the line. Does have like the fizziness of CK Shock. I want to say either this one or CKB came after CK Shock, and maybe because when they discontinued the Shock, they came back with this one or the CKB. I can't remember which order they came in. But both of them have that same, almost that same fizziness that you get from Shock, minus the tobacco. But the tobacco is what makes Shock such a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Now, let's carry on. And I don't know what years these are, but it shouldn't be hard to find. It's just not that deep. And yeah, I didn't want to bother with it. I'll just be honest. This, I will say, this is one of the later ones, and this is Ck1 Summer. This one reminds me of Invictus or something along that lines. Is it's Ambroxany, bubblegummy, mass appealing, great smelling scent. Great smelling scent. Like these fragrances, they smell good. Spraying them on, putting them in the air, I'm just like, man, these really smell good. This one is mass appealing, a compliment getter again. Puts me in the line of something from Invictus or something like the Abercrombie and Fitch First Instincts, all along those lines. Very playful, very bubblegummy. I know this is part of the summer collection, but this is one that I think could be worn year round. Good smelling fragrance. Ck1 Summer, again, not into the years, but I think that may be 19, if I'm correct. That may be 19. This one I have not even had. I bought this one earlier this summer, and I may have worn it one time. I may have worn this fragrance one time, looking for a place to spray. And this is Ck Summer 2020 or 2021. I'm not sure of the year. And it's a great smelling fragrance. These are going to be hard too. Those last two, I mean, all of them are good smelling fragrances. That's the thing about it. I just wish they performed better. These are absolutely great fragrances. If you have a teenage son or even a teenage daughter, or maybe somebody in their late teens, early 20s that you wanted to get some fragrances for. Fragrances like this is a very safe and good place to start because they're just so non-offensive. And they're really, really easy to wear. They're not going to break the bank. Yeah, just a great place to start. You have to excuse my voice for cracking. It does that sometimes. When I get off work, I don't know if it's the ventilation system in the building, but it aggravates my sinuses sometimes, so I apologize. But Ck1 Summer. I want to say this is 2021. That's a nice smelling fragrance. Again, all of these smell good. Here's one, and you can see I've spent my share of time wearing these. That's where the levels are on this one. I'm not sure what year, again, this one is, and they're absolutely gorgeous bottles as well. If I had more room, I would be holding on to these, but I don't. So we can't play the if game, right? It is what it is. This one, I don't really get where they were going with this one at all. And again, I'm not sure. I want to say this one's maybe 15 or 16. I'm not really sure where they were going with this one. It's the complete opposite of mass appealing. It doesn't give me a very summery vibe at all. Trying to think of how to describe this one to you. It doesn't remind me of anything from the house of John Varvatos. It just doesn't have a very summery vibe to it to me. It's a little bit pasty, maybe inky, if that's a word. Yeah. Maybe it's trying to get a little bit more. I've got so many different scents on. Yeah. I just, maybe my taste in fragrances has changed as I've smelled different stuff. Trying to be as honest with you here as I can. This one just has an inky, pasty smell to it. It doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't remind me of summer. I mean, this fragrance does not make me want to reach for it in the summertime. Moving along. This one, you see the levels. I did reach for this one a lot. I want to say this was one that I wore a lot when going to the beaches and. And again, I really love the theme and the concept of the Ck1 summer fragrances. I really think it's a great concept. I wish more companies would do it. Now this one does remind me of the summertime, more so the beach or a drink. And I want to say this may be 17 or 18. It's just got a fresh, tropical vibe to it. It just reminds me of heat. And I can feel the sun shining on my skin and just being in a very hot climate, listening to the sounds of the ocean. And sitting in the sand and letting the water run up on my feet. Oh yeah. Try to do nice, chill stuff sometimes. You have to take in life sometimes. You know what I mean? But this definitely reminds me a little bit more of the summertime. This one kind of gives me a summertime night vibe. If you know what I mean, it just has that effect or that feel. It feels like one I would reach for in the evening or the nighttime in the summer. Very casual. This one, all of these would also work great if I haven't said this. Around the house, fresh out of the shower, just running errands, that type of event, that type of thing. These would work well for. I mean, you're not gonna impress anybody with these scents. You're not going to be told that you smell bad either, but you're not going to really just, turn heads with them. I have received compliments with them, but, they do have a nice, fresh, as I revisit the. It's getting a little bit more tropical as it sits on the skin, but that one's probably going to be my least favorite out of all of them. This one. I'm not sure what that note is in there. It's not off-putting, but it's not pleasing either. But this one just reminds me of heat, hot, and just being in the sun and letting the sun just shine, just rain down on me, letting God's glory just rain down on me. It's Ck1 summer. I want to say let's see the 17 or 18. No, I don't think I have, but one more. I may have overlooked some. I may have left some in my cabinet down there, which is another reason I've got to declutter. Another Ck1 summer. As I'm going through, gotta find a spot to spray, guys. I think we're gonna hit it right there on the old. Hit it with 2 sprays right there. Give it a minute. I can smell that one from here. Of course, you're going to get a heavy dose of alcohol in these. I mean, let's just be honest. That smells good. I like this one. I may end up holding on to this one. I may end up holding on to this one. This is one of the later releases, I know for sure, because of the leaf on the back. But this one is bright. This one does give me a summertime vibe. It has a certain type of citrus note up top that it's just nice, refreshing. That's the good word for it. That's a good word for it. Refreshing. You know, picture yourself down at Biloxi Beach or Panama City Beach or Destin or Orange Beach, wherever you go. If you live out in Texas, you know, out of Corpus Christi or somewhere, Galveston down there, you know, which I heard the beaches in Galveston was not really all. Anyway, a pretty beach. And you're eating at a restaurant that may have a nice view of the ocean. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, somewhere like that. I love Myrtle Beach, by the way. And you're just taking in the view of the ocean and listening to the sounds of it and eating you some shrimp or some lobster or some gumbo, which is one of my favorite things to eat. This is one of those that I think is crowd pleasing. I think this one gets in the air and it does smell good, but it's a citrus fragrance, and you know, I may end up holding on to this one a little while longer. I'm not sure. That does smell nice. That's nice, crisp, fresh citrus, almost maybe like a drink. That's nice. That's nice. Ck1 Summer. And the last one on the list, seems like I'm missing one or two, guys. I don't think so. I think I got them all. Another Ck1 Summer, and this may be 18 or 19. And I have not worn this one much at all, which is part of the reason that I've done the declutter. And again, these are not groundbreaking fragrances. They're not the reinvention of the wheel, so they're not overly expensive. 20 to 25 bucks. Beautiful, beautiful bottle. Absolutely love the color on this atomizer right here. That is a beautiful color. That's good. I don't know why I haven't worn that more. Probably because I have too many fragrances and it got pushed back, and which is part of the reason why I'm doing a declutter. I can tell this one is a little bit newer, maybe 19 or 20. No, it's not going to be 20. Maybe 19 or so, because of the mass appealingness of it. Again, this is one that's got a little bit of a citrus in it that may be lemon, maybe Italian lemon or something, because it's a little bit more masculine than the rest of them. Yeah, definitely a little bit more masculine. Definitely tropical. It definitely calls for you to wear this in the summertime. Again, more in the evening or more in the nighttime. And just a good smelling fragrance. Just a good smelling fragrance. Again, it's one of those situations where as a reviewer, I kind of want to go in a different direction, and not a huge different direction, but just, you know, maybe just a little bit. To bring you guys some more content about Middle Eastern fragrances, indie fragrances, you know, some things like that. Still fragrances that are going to be easy to obtain and not going to break the bank, like Al Hermain and Afnan Supremacy and fragrances like that. Latafa is on my list of things to get. Just some fragrances that are just a little bit more expensive, but at the same time a little bit better quality. But this one, again, man, if I had a teenage son, he would be getting hooked up right about now, because that's what I would do with these, is pass them off to him, because that's what they remind me of. Not that somebody any age couldn't wear them, but they just have such a youthful summer vibe to them, with the exception of one or two. But again, this is one I do like. I need to give myself another spray of this, and I may wear this one to work tomorrow, just to see that. Again, the quality of these fragrances are not high end, but neither is the price. So, be mindful of that if you have these fragrances. I'm not trying to put them down or to act like a cologne snob, because I don't mind a little alcohol, especially if I pay a few dollars for it. To be 1,000% clear and honest with you, if I pay $100 for a fragrance, I'm way harder on that fragrance than I am one that I paid $19.99 to $25 for. That's just me. $19.99, I give it a lot of leniency. $99, I don't. I'm like, this thing better iron my shirt, stand up, and be an excellent fragrance. But $19.99, it's worth that. Okay, that's good. That's fresh, crisp, easy to wear. And I know that's a common theme with all of these, but they are part of the CK Summer line. And I want to say this is maybe 19. All right, guys. Well, that is it, man. That's it. That is the Declutter part 2 video. So, again, thank you all for being the best part of the channel. Returning to the scene of the crime. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you're interested in any of these fragrances, you can hit me up. I'll put the email in the description. You can hit me up if you're interested in any of them. Always be active in the comment section. Again, that's what it's there for. Be sure to like, share, and sub. I'm going to jump off of here, edit thumbnail so I can get it up for you to see. I hope you guys have had a beautiful weekend and happy Monday. Now, with that being said, you already know I love you all. God bless you all. Until next time, guys. Peace.